So hello and welcome to this week's reading. So if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Julia, and on this channel I like to do tarot pick-a-card readings and other videos. And I'm also a huge astrology enthusiast, so I like to combine tarot, stars and the spirit to provide you the most accurate reading possible. And if you are back to this channel, welcome back and happy to see you again here. And today we will have 4 different groups, and let's now, without further ado, just jump into the group selection and see you in your reading. So hello and welcome to today's group selection. So today we will have 4 groups, and this is going to be group number 1, this is going to be group number 2, this is going to be group number 3. So let's now look at our stones up closer as always. So this is group number 1. And this is going to be group number 2. Very raw amethyst crystal. This is going to be group number 3. So as always, let's take our 3 deep breaths. And while doing this, you can ask yourself, either out loud or in your mind, how is my next week going to look like? How are my upcoming 7 days going to look like? And I like resting my feet on the ground when I'm doing this. Rest your hands on the upper thighs, close your eyes, and inhale. Exhale. And inhale again. And exhale. And feel how the air is flowing through your entire body, and breathe into your belly. Inhale. And exhale. And now let your glance wander across the crystals and try to sense out which stone you feel drawn to. So choose more with your gut feeling and not so much with the eyes and with the mind. And you can pause the video and meditate a little bit longer on your crystals if you need to. And as soon as you're ready, just head down to the description box, click to the according timestamp of your group, and see you in your reading. So hello, group number 1. If you chose this stone, then this is going to be your reading. So let's move the other stones out of the way. And for you, I feel like using the Druid Tarot group number 1. So I hope you've been good. I hope the past week has brought you not only challenges, but also some blessings. And with you, I somehow get like a very, an energy which is very creative, very motivated, like very enthusiastic, and maybe it already is a sign for what you are going through at the moment, or maybe it's just what you are up to the next week. So let's see what messages we receive about the initial, like the essential events for your upcoming week, group number 1. So let's see. I feel like these belong together. Strength and the Knight of Wands reversed here. So yeah, I feel very restless and kind of all over the place, but very, very driven, very motivated. And we've got the Ace of Wands here. It's a very beneficial energy for you starting a creative endeavor or a new project overall. But I sense a lot of creativity with you, group number 1. Also with the Star card coming up here. Yeah, but the 7 of Cups reversed here, yeah, that's... I feel for some of you, it's like since a very long time, you finally have the resource to do what you actually wanted to do, like a project that you wanted to start, a hobby that you wanted to pick up maybe and required maybe some equipment or, you know, some things which were not within your reach when you had the strong desire to do it or very strong inspiration. But now you have the resource, but you seem blocked with your, like not with your creativity in that sense of being productive. It's not, and that is not the issue, but yeah, I feel like a lack of inspiration is somehow taking place for you. And also with the moon here, the moon and the Two of Swords together, this, I feel like it should come upright, but yeah, I start to see why this came out this weirdly and like weirdly flipped and horizontal. By the way, I'm trying out a new filming angle because I personally like in these types of videos when you can see the reader shuffle the cards, and I like that a lot personally. It also goes well with the sound then, because I always find it weird when you hear the sound of something but you don't see it happening. So yeah, we have the Empress in reverse. But you know, all these both reversals are in a position where I feel it's not so much a lack or a block there. It's more about you, like the spirit, or basically, you know, that force, whatever you might feel is supporting you at the moment, pointing you very much towards this. So it is up to you to really be in charge and, you know, take that energy that we have with the star, which is about creating a new world and having a lot of creative energy, also a lot of energy to give, a lot of energy to bring to fruition. It is up to you to make it happen, but you might have found it challenging to stay consistent within your work lately, because this Ace of Wands energy here, and also the Knight of Wands appearing here in reversed, I get this notion that it's like you have the energy, you have the drive, and it's even sometimes so hard to channel that it starts to become an actual issue instead of the blessing that it is supposed to be. But it's not that there's something bad about this energy or even the circumstances you're in. I think it's just that the upcoming week is going to challenge you in the ways you harness your potential and your enthusiasm. And what I sense with you as well is that you might be well advised, maybe seeking other people's support in this and not going through this alone. And with the Ten of Cups here, you know, the thing is that I feel that you have got a lot of people around you who would be willing to support you. And back of the deck energy, by the way, is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So it is, for you, I feel it is really about you finding something that you now want to take up again, or it is for the first time that you start this project or interest or go deeper into it. And now that you've started it, it actually requires some work to put in. And sometimes you need to go through this dry spell where it's not going to be maybe very inspiring or very emotionally satisfying what you do, but it's also, it's a part of the journey, just as the very exciting and emotional part is. And the very bright side of this is that you are not supposed to be stuck alone with this group number one. I strongly feel that. And let's just see what the energy is, you know, astrologically for you, because with the star being there in a very prominent position in a way, I feel a lot of you might have heavy Aquarius placements. So we have Virgo here, we have always get messed up with this a little bit. We have Saturn here, and we have one. So for you truly is that, you know, that thing that you have picked up now and that you are working on right now, it is something very personal and very important to you. It might have been really a dream that you have been carrying around for a very long time, and that actually means a lot to you emotionally. But that is both blessing and a curse at times, because it might make it hard for you to stick to this even when it's maybe not bringing you that satisfaction that you were expecting from it. And you know, with Virgo here, with the first house, and with Saturn here, like, we are very strongly advised here to really materialize something, put in the work, and then receive the reward. But it is something that is very meaningful to you. I really sense that with the first house here. So yeah, group number 1, let's now see what you could focus on. And I feel like taking the Osho Zen Tarot for that for you. Also a very creative deck with a very, very vital energy, very lively, very inspiring and creative. So yeah, with the 9 of Cups being in reverse here, the 9 of Cups talk a lot about, you know, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you see this man who has his arms crossed, and he's surrounded by all those cups, and he seems very pleased and very satisfied and at peace with himself. But if you look closer to it, you also could see some boredom and loneliness in that card, because that person there is alone. And it's also sometimes talking about having this abundance and fulfillment and then getting bored of it. So I just feel that that, again, is a very major theme with this particular topic or project that you are occupied with. Focus more on, you know, seeing that also the work that you put in there contributes to that satisfaction. And don't get maybe so comfortable in your perception and your experience of that emotional quick satisfaction that you might have gotten in the past from you know, this hobby or this project. And I feel what is quite challenging for you is actually maybe staying really focused, because again, we're talking about this, like, with all this Wands energy here, it might be sometimes challenging for you to really stay focused and stay focused on your work and be consistent. And I feel that is a huge challenge for you at the moment. At least for some of you, this is the major issue in this. For some of you, I sense it is this emotional satisfaction thing. You kind of don't get the rush that you were expecting from it, and you need to put in some work to get it again. But it will pay off, definitely will, and you're not stuck alone with this. But for some of you, I feel it is also about that focus. You even might acknowledge or might realize that, you know, even putting in the work is also beneficial and all that, but you get distracted quite easily. I sense that with you. So let's see what you can do to balance out the situation, you know. Yeah, we have the Fool reversed here. So really maybe try to be open to things going different than you planned or perceived. So we have also Success as back of the deck in reverse here, which is the 6 of Wands in this deck. So I feel for some of you it might be that you also are doubting yourself a lot. And I feel that this is not for all of you in this group, but for some of you it will really also stand out. Because at the bottom of all this, there is this doubt and seeking support and seeking peace and stability in the known and in your routine that has led you well towards this point. But it might require you to rethink things. And it's also that I feel that is actually a thing for a lot of you. A lot of you are afraid about how their results are going to be received. And by now I'm very sure, group number 1, most of you are working either in creative industry or you are doing something of the creative business as your side hustle. But this entire reading is, I think, strongly connected to this creative pursuit, this creative job project that you have. Because this thing with being afraid how the public or how your followers or just people being interested in your work will perceive it and value it, I feel that is, to be fair, a quite commonly found struggle and challenge amongst creatives. And I feel for you, group number one, the upcoming week is going to maybe give a push, give kind of a catalyst in this situation to resolve it and to get into a new habit, a new routine of this and how to deal with these things. So let's now see, group number one, how you can take care of yourself best during the upcoming week. And before doing that, to be honest, I think I will jump into my beloved music cards here with all the artists and just try and figure out whose music might be beneficial for you at the moment. You know, whose tune will guide you safely and happy through this situation. So group number one, which artist should they listen to? Kurt Cobain. So talks a lot about, you know, being on one hand your unapologetic self, on the other hand also realizing how maybe not complying within that to just the physical needs and just the needs for stability and for a routine that we as humans have, how that can actually also destroy you. But, you know, the quotes coming with these cards are, we all are stuck in this chaos, so let's make some noise and don't become your own tribute band. And you cannot buy teen spirit. So I feel, though, you know, while this, it's weird because this card and also Nirvana's music overall has always had a very ambivalent atmosphere to me, because on one hand it has this very rebellious component, and again talking a lot about being unapologetically you and rebellion and just forging the world in a way that you think is right. But even not that, you know, sometimes it's just about pure chaos. And on the other hand, if you listen more closely to a lot of the lyrics in Nirvana's songs, a lot of that is actually about the flip side of this, about the fear of having or becoming all that. You know, it's about sometimes also the fear of missing out on things, not living life intense enough, not, you know, with this don't become your own tribute band. I feel some of you, group number one, are also afraid if you compromise on this point that you are gonna lose yourself in some sense or sell a piece of yourself in a not very fair trade, at least so it feels to you. And let's just see what other artists come up here. So we have Tina Turner, and very interesting quotes. I feel this is like your support card in a sense. So it's not important what happens, but how you deal with it. And get rid of everything that drags you down. And the most beautiful lotus is blooming and in the deepest mud. So, you know, just a call for accepting transformation and embracing it. Also with the Fool in reverse, we kind of have this thing. But, you know, the other thing is that don't be too... I feel some of you are very well advised in not being too impulsive on these changes in your habits or these changes in your plans or paths that you have kind of planned out. You know, there's no need to rush. There's no need to fear missing out on something, because these things that you are working on, they just take time to evolve and to bloom. And sometimes it also takes things that you are even not in control of, outside factors, to really support this and foster that growth. And sometimes a component that is very necessary to it will actually lie somewhere out there in divine timing, in you meeting a person which will be exactly the one that you needed to collaborate with to make something happen, or that you are going to, for instance, receive that additional money bonus or something, or a very fortunate coincidence will give you the perfect opportunity. And I feel for you it's a lot about sensing out where do you need to act and where do you maybe need to wait a little bit in things coming to you. And I feel you are actually energy-wise, you are doers and you have the itch for that. But on the other hand, that anxiety and that fear of missing out on things and stuff like that, I think that sometimes is paralyzing you. And then you kind of end up with these several vicious circles kind of grinding you up. And I feel sometimes, you know, drawing back from that a little bit and just coming back to the very basic element of working, being consistent in what you can do best without trying to put the pressure on you to go beyond that. I feel that is realizing that you are actually in control of the way how you do things, while you maybe are not maybe in control of all things at all times, but you're always in control of what your action or reaction to that is going to be. I feel realizing that is going to be very helpful for you, and maybe focusing on that a little bit during the upcoming days. Just keep that in mind, you know. And let's see how you can ground yourself best, because I feel that is something that you will benefit from immensely. I mean, everyone does, but in your case, I feel it is what will maybe be the deal breaker. Grounding yourself, finding, you know, your focus point within yourself again. So doesn't come easy. Just as your grounding doesn't come easy to you, I feel, group number 1. So let's now see. Yeah, we got wolf, instinct. That card talks a lot about combining both practical thinking and your survivalist instinct and practical knowledge, you know, and I feel that sums up very nicely everything we have in this reading. And I feel you can connect best in presence of your pets. If you own a dog, this might literally be kind of a sign. Spend maybe more time outside walking with your dog, just spending your time outdoors actively with your pet. Or it might also, if you don't own a dog, if you also don't own a pet even, then it definitely might encourage you to go out in the forest, also seek the element earth with this huge mountain here in the background. So also, I was talking about you not being alone in this, and wolves are, you know, running in packs, and they have a very close bond with each other, and on the other hand, also a very clear hierarchy and structure within the pack, and also decisions that are taken at times are like very much weighing out, you know, is this really necessary for our survival, or is this something that will require too much energy, too much risk taking? So I feel for you it is a lot about, you know, finding that balancing point, finding that point where things meet in balance and harmony, and also sometimes realizing that what might have served you in one scenario might not do so in the next one. While it doesn't mean you always need to do 180, sometimes it's just a small pivot that makes the huge change in the result. But group number 1, I cross fingers for you that you find, you know, some peace, can ground yourself a little bit. And I feel after the upcoming week, you are going to be a lot wiser in terms of balancing out your drive, your enthusiasm, that Ace of Wands force, and on the other hand, tapping into your instinct. By the way, you know, the wolf theme also continuing here, howling at the moon. So definitely try to connect to yourself, and I feel a lot of you can do so very well in nature, and especially in the woods, in the mountains, particularly if you live in a region which provides you that opportunity, and also spending time with your pet. So group number 1, I wish you a wonderful, productive week, and see you in the next video. Bye! So hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So for you, I feel like using the Rider-Waite deck to map out the essential topics and events for the upcoming week. So I hope all of you have been well and that the past week has brought you both, you know, some learnings and also some blessings. And we have the High Priestess appearing here, so feel for maybe this week, as we already have found out, every video seems to have like a global topic here on this channel, which is, you know, just depicted differently in all groups, but kind of looking at the same thing from different perspectives. And I feel this week it's tapping in with your intuition. I feel some of you have a hard time with this or are overwhelmed by this. And with you, I get this energy that it might be too much for you at the moment. Like it might feel too much for you at this current moment. And yes. But the good thing is that you have, I see that some of you have, maybe recently or just by nature, you are quite good at actually understanding that stability and grounding maybe doesn't come only in material ways. And I feel that a lot of you choosing this group are actually trying to break through some patterns, some existing patterns that have been running in your life, and that's the good thing. That's the good thing. And also you are definitely being guided also by spirit guides or ancestors, just by some good energy that is definitely in favors of you and leading you to whatever is beneficial for you and your highest good at this moment. And I feel you guys are, you know, you might be actually interesting. I sense you might, some of you might be fire signs actually. But you also we might have Scorpio here, you know, with the High Priestess, the Six of Cups, the Death card appearing, which signifies Scorpio. Overall, some water energy, having water here as well. Yeah, I feel you are definitely kind of rocking a change in how you perceive dealing with material resources or dealing with resources overall. So you are going through some transformations there, but you definitely are welcoming it. Most of you, I feel, are, even if it's challenging, understanding that this is for your good in the end. But what might come tough to you is also letting go of your need to control things and your need to initiate things. I by now am quite sure you might be Scorpio, or you might be fire sign, or you might have both strong placements. Also, to be fair, Scorpio from all water signs is, you know, the thing is, there's a meme out there which basically depicts a water tap shooting out fire, and that is like, you know, Scorpio as a water sign. And that's the thing with Scorpio. I've always felt that you can tell, like in the old astrology system, it was ruled by Mars. And let me tell you, at least the Scorpio people that I have met throughout life, they definitely, like, they fall well into that picture. They have a very, you know, sometimes a very determined energy, at least in my point of view. And I know a lot of people refer to Scorpios being manipulative, etc. But the other thing is that they are very good at, you know, recognizing patterns, seeing the little differences that, or the little details that make the difference, let's say it that way. And on the other hand, they truly are, if you, for instance, are in a Scorpio's closer circle of people, you can be sure that these people are going to have your back and stand behind you in most cases. I mean, there's always an exception, like a bad person stays a bad person, and somebody not being loyal stays a person just not being loyal regardless of their zodiac placements. But let's say overall, I've at least seen this trait in a lot of Scorpios, and I feel you know, that they have a very intense energy, a very high intensity that definitely can measure itself with all of the fire signs, I'd say. And let me just check, you know, I am rambling about Scorpios now so much. Yeah, we have Capricorn and we have Mercury, but we have the 8th house here, so definitely some Pluto energy. And I feel you are pushed to work through the flip side of this bright coin. You know, that comes very natural to you. I feel lots of you might just have heavy Scorpio placements, or it might just be maybe you're experiencing some transits through your eighth house or something like that. Might also be the case. And that's the thing. I feel you are very much urged to kind of go down the deep end of, shadow side of things. And I would actually like to later on pull some of the dark mirror cards for you, because I find them very beneficial for pinpointing shadow work. But for you, I really get you are having here the Hangman reverse, which is great, because that means that this illusionist energy that the Hanged Man, which depicts Neptune, actually has, it is very much, also with Capricorn showing up there, I don't feel that it's for a lot of you, but you might go through your Saturn return, just to say that. So maybe some of you are actually in that right now. But yes, with the Hanged Man here, we have, this illusion and this clouded perception and clouded thinking getting lifted and improving. And I feel that is going to help you resolve a lot of, those things that have been bugging you. With the Nine of Swords and with the 8th house that came out previously, and the Scorpio energy just hovering across this thing, I just feel it very strongly. The thing is that I feel like this cloudiness lifted and being cleared refers to a lot of those feelings that you have on this deep shadow end of things. And I feel some things that you see about yourself aren't maybe necessarily as bad and making you such a bad person as you believe, because I feel some of you have kind of this little dark dusty corner, behind or on the edge of all your sunny exterior. And I feel like you truly are people who are very giving, but also, to be honest, you have like a good relationship with your confidence and all that. Like, you have that, but right now you are also realizing that there still are some parts within you that definitely are not fitting under this umbrella only. And I feel like you are urged to deal with those, because dealing with those parts of our personality and existence, that process, it holds a very huge potential and a very huge gift in understanding those things in others as well. And I feel like this experience here, it is going to help you. Let me clarify the two of wands. Let me clarify the two of wands. The two of wands. So I feel it's going to help you immensely, really immensely, to plan out your endeavors and I somehow sense also your career things in a way more diplomatic way. I feel like this thing here is going to teach you diplomacy a lot. And let me just pull some shadow cards for you. And yeah, I feel for some of you it is about this diplomacy. Though I don't see an argument situation happening here. But what we see here with the Six of Swords, by the way, is these people here in this boat moving from troubled waters into calm waters. And also with the child in the boat always signifies hope for the future. So I feel while you might actually have gone quite well with your strategy and your style of communication, but I feel that still you might encounter during the upcoming week, or like the upcoming 2 weeks even, I somehow get that as well here. But either during the upcoming days you might encounter situations which will challenge your sense of diplomacy and teach you something new there. And also help you to kind of take a mirror and put it in front of yourself and maybe see where you can do things differently and in a better way, both towards yourself, meeting yourself with more understanding, as well as others. So let me see, shadow work for group number 2, shadow work for group number 2, shadow work. Okay, we have a flip card here. Anger in chains. So let's look into the quote here, because the book that comes along with this deck, I cannot stop like saying that this deck is very, very beautiful. It has some very beautiful imagery, a very, you know, thought through, very, very interesting concept behind that. And it has very interesting quotes that come with the deck. So if you are into shadow work or just a little bit into the, you know, slightly more shadow side of things and learning through that, then this is definitely a deck that I can recommend to you. By no means this is like not an ad or something. It's just that I have enjoyed this deck in a lot of readings recently, and it just contains messages that have resonated with a lot of people. So, anger in chains, force channeled outside, unreasonable, undirected, but powerful. I've got to break free. I want to be free. Anger is not the road to clarity here. It's not a controlled effort or a cold dish. It is raw, primal, explosive. It is the loss of reason, the loss of restraint, a bomb burning bright in black color, a wax seal carefully crafted to be immediately broken. But anger is also freedom. How can you break a single thread woven with a million others? How can you unfetter yourself from a bad situation, letting all the rest unchanged? It doesn't work like that. When you need to break free, you need to shake and shout, and more things will be broken than just what you want to hurt. They are like a bundle. You can target, but you cannot choose. So you cannot choose. Break many to break one, save one to save many. Kind of resonates with this card as well, with the Six of Pentacles, which appears here reversed. And it's about, you know, if you look closer to it, it has this man sharing the coins with both people, but he shares it kind of only to the one person, and it's always with this card. I feel the important message here is who is on the receiving side and who is on the giving side. And again, you know, with this choosing between giving it to both people or giving it only to one people, and maybe helping to save this one guy who will maybe share things again with this guy, because fairness doesn't stop at social class, or sharing doesn't stop at social class. So just to explain you maybe how at least I feel this ties in together. And again, you can apply this not only in material matters, but I feel also in energy matters and into this topic of diplomacy, because I keep getting this and it keeps kind of ringing in my mind all the time. And let me just pull another card for you from the shadow deck. Okay, we have these here. So black flower fragrance and today for tomorrow. Today for tomorrow, I can say already I feel that ties very well in together with the rest of the reading and also with the other card. So hope is in the present. It's the brick we used to build the future on. And I want it some, I want it later, gently. It may seem like a trade-off to sacrifice the present in order to secure a better future. That's what ants do. Or to sacrifice the future to enjoy a better present. Cicadas do this. Either choice holds a bitter taste. It's like watching a child play. Shouldn't she study? And if she were studying, wouldn't she regret not playing more? You meet a person you are attracted to. Do you go past and let it stay in the fantasy? Or you make a move and follow it through to the ephemeral ending? The endless choice between regret and remorse. What if, for once, we turn our back to the dark? We do the unexpected and we shred it like an used dress. We can walk by the sea as no one is around, and we skinny dip out of our worries. The present and the future are one single integrated connection. There is no choice, because the road is only one. What we are today and what we are tomorrow may be different, but it is the same person. Yeah, so I feel this kind of captures also the essence of a transformation in a sense, because, or the process of either accepting or denying it, or thinking, should you take this opportunity to maybe, end one stage of evolution. And I like to refer to these things as really stages of evolution, because I feel that, this process of growth and shedding and growing and shedding again, in a spiritual sense and in the sense of mind, I feel that is something that is very tough to embrace, because it carries a lot of things that actually are frightening, that are unstable, that are unpredictable. And the thing is that I'm referring to this because with the black flower fragrance, we have, if we want to go dark, go black. Don't stop to the evening, but embrace the night. Love is not a white dove, nor it turns people into angels. Love can be ugly, love can be cheap, love can be rotten. But even ugly love has a right to exist. Even cheap love can race to the sky. Even rotten love has the dignity of eternity. Even a black rose by any other name should still smell as sweet. Even if you are wrong, you still have the right to be angry. Even if you're not perfect, you have the right to be respected. Even if you are stupid, you have the right to be listened to. Even if you are lucky, you have the right to complain. Even if you are rich, you have the right to be sad. If you cannot shine because you are beautiful, then shine even if you are ugly. Shine because you are ugly. Gorgeously black, ugly as love, worn out as an angel, cheap as a crown, unconquered as a fragrance in the night. So it talks a lot about embracing yourself regardless at which stage of transformation or growth you are, because not all stages are going to be perfectly crafted, perfectly beautiful, always on the sunny side and always great. So it also might have been that, somebody from the past might maybe reached out to you and kind of catalyzed this process you are now about to experience, or maybe that will happen within the next days. And not for all of you maybe, but for some. And the thing is, with this reading, I feel it goes into a very particular direction, which is not, while this is a general reading, I feel that this is something that will either resonate like very strongly with you, and if it doesn't, then feel free to select one of the other groups. But I feel if you are ringing with this here, and if you are on the wave with this reading, then I feel it talks a lot to you about really trusting in your transformation, and that it will bring you the results that are going to be the best for you and your path and your best intentions and your best plan and best version of yourself. But it will require you to really face and embrace the ugly parts of it. So with the 8th house there and Mercury, I feel it also involves, for some of you, it involves that you also might sometimes not have like the most brightest or purest thoughts at times. We all sometimes have days when we kind of are not on the highest end of bright spirit and stuff. So it is all right to have that, and it is all part of you, and it doesn't make you less successful or less good or something. The thing is that I feel going through this transformation and growth, it will help you, I feel, to understand others better and just make better decisions for yourself as well. So let's now check what you could focus on, group number 1, or what you should focus on. And I will use the Rider-Waite again for this. So what should group number 2 focus on? What should group number 2 focus on? So we have straight away... No, that came out first. So, and we have the 10 of Cups here. Beautiful, very beautiful. So back of the deck is, and also we have the Empress is the next one here, by the way. So, and upright. So, the Queen of Wands showing up in reverse here, the Empress coming out upright here. And I feel like putting her in this deck here, or in this spread. So it talks a lot about a transformation and transition from somebody who, is very confident, has a lot of potential. Also, one of the most inspiring and charismatic queens in the entire suit or deck, I feel, in the entire tarot. So this persona, which also comes, you know, with still its shadow sides. And on the other hand, we have the cat here and the Six of Swords card appearing here. You are protected by energies that mean good to you and that are protecting you and supporting you. But you know, this persona, while having a bright exterior and having confidence and a very bright persona, also very charismatic, you know, even that person has kind of their shadow days and shadow thoughts and shadow parts, and exploring and entering those will help you to come to more emotional fulfillment and to find an even deeper and stronger sense of abundance, stability, confidence, and fruition. And I feel that's a very beautiful transformation, spanning like from the starting point to this beautiful final stage here, you know. But it's also a final stage, you know. A cycle closes with the Ten of Cups. It's you know, closing the minor arcana kind of, and a cycle is closing and then a new one begins. But for you, I feel it might be very beneficial to focus more on directing your force and your potential or your motivation more towards yourself and more internally, intrinsically. And also, on the other hand, for some of you, if you feel the urge, if you have something going on in context with this, where you feel like you want to act out and you want to push, count to 10 and think again. And I'm not saying you should not do it, but it's just, you know, breathe in, breathe out 3 times, and then you can still do it if you still think it's a good idea. But it might take you exactly those 3 seconds to maybe realize a different thing about this particular situation, or a thing that you have overlooked, and then it changes your view on things for your better. So here we also have, with the Seven of Wands in reverse, a very defensive position in a sense. And it might be that the things that you will encounter during this entire scenario here, they might require you maybe standing your ground, or on the other hand, it will also, I feel some of you will also receive support in this. Might be your spirit guides here, might also be other people, maybe your family or very close friends helping you with that. So there might come up a situation where you are kind of defending maybe your ideals and or your idea in your pursuit, and maybe not everyone is being very approving of that, and you are in the position to kind of defend that. And here the thing is, with the Three of Pentacles reversed here, overall, like, the Pentacle cards that you have are talking a lot about the relationship with abundance, and also with the King of Pentacles here, with here we have, or basically with both King and Queen cards here, we have this existing abundance. Here we have the topic of how it gets distributed. Also with the Empress, we have also a very fruitful, very abundant energy. And I feel like for you, it is now, you're now at some stage of rearranging that and reviewing this. And I feel, let me just check the energy here again. Aquarius, Mars, and 4th house. It's interesting because while you might be striving for a stable and fair decision, or are seeking a way to find out how to distribute this abundance and these things fairly, how to do that, the key might actually lie in kind of the opposite that you think is right. So I feel like you really open your mind to taking decisions differently, really open up to collaboration, collaboration, and maybe really like think if you are about to also be very drastic or very pushy about a point you want to make. Again, the point of diplomacy, really open up to other people giving their input into a project or into a decision or into the way how abundance or material or any other resource is being distributed. And I feel like this is maybe the actual part that you need to tap into. And it's a general reading, and that's why we cannot go into each one's personal story to these topics. But and the thing is, I feel that for a lot of you, this is a thing that is tying into more areas of your life that we can even cover in this reading, I feel, because they are very individual and they are very different, is what I get. But the very common point here is, or the very joint conclusion is, that you are definitely going through a transformation where you reevaluate how you distribute power, how you distribute material wealth, how you distribute this abundance. And also, on the other hand, what ties into this is, first off, looking into our pain points, our weaknesses, because that influences exactly those processes and makes us maybe sometimes not take the fairest and wisest decisions without us even realizing it. So I feel that is kind of summing it up for you, group number 2. And now let's see how you can take care for yourself best during the upcoming week. Let's take the Earth Magic cards for this. So we already have them acting up a little bit. So let's see. So we have childhood, innocence, and here with the 6 of Cups, kind of have the same, and eagle, connection. So you definitely have some strong ancestors backing you up or something. So I feel that you are very, very protected. So trust your intuition as well. Trust your intuition, trust your thoughts that strike you maybe in particular situations where you just get that first initial thought. Listen to it and take that in account when you take decisions. And really, also with childhood and innocence, it's a very interesting card because we also have, in this imagery, you basically have the sun breaking through some clouds and shining on a meadow. There's a pond and there are 2 children playing, a girl and a boy, and they are in awe looking at the sun. And there is still like thunder and lightning, and it's kind of moving away and the sun is shining. So I feel that also the main message for you here, guys, is try to see things maybe as innocent as you can. Try to really let go of any preoccupation or experience that you have maybe with those pain points as well that you're working with, and really try to see them from the perspective of a child just learning about things and encountering things for the first time. That situation that you will maybe most likely encounter during the upcoming week, that situation is gonna be that opportunity. Also with the sun here, corresponds very well with this card. Try to meet this situation with the deepest innocence that you can find in yourself, the deepest, clean slate that you can find. And I know it's not an easy task to do, and it is quite hard and challenging, but also with the eagle and connection, also, if you have pets, spend time with them. The group before this also had this coming up, but just with the wolf card, for instance. And I also urge you, try to connect with, if you are into this and are working with this, try to connect to your spirit guides, to your ancestors. Also, go out in nature. Also, maybe some of you actually have either relatives or you yourself have maybe a land house or something, or a house located somewhere outside of the city, away from your daily life. And maybe try to find an opportunity to go there for some time, maybe for the weekend, or just also visiting your parents maybe, or visiting just the place that you grew up in, if you still have your parents' house there, or if you go there regularly, for instance. now might be a good time to go there and kind of recharge a little bit and reconnect with that emotional background that is tied to that. And as I said, a general reading might not apply to you all, but what applies, I feel, to all of you who chose this group is that you are very well protected, very well guided by spirit guide, ancestors, by energy that is having the best intentions for you and your highest good. So group number 2, that's all I have for you. Get safe through the upcoming week, and I wish you a very productive time. Work through this. You are not alone into this. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, and stay safe. See you in the next video. So hello and welcome to your reading group number 3. And for you, I feel like using the Osho Zen Tarot to map out the essential events and topics for the upcoming 7 days. 7 to 10 usually, but let's say 7 days. So interesting, 10 of Cups appearing here, and my theory is proven again. We have this week, once again, kind of one major topic, which is the umbrella theme for all readings. And let's see if you get the second strain of topics, let's say, in your reading. But so far, the 10 of Cups have always, in some shape and size, in one of the decks appeared in the readings. And the 10 of Cups stand for, in the Rider-Waite deck, for instance, it's depicted as this family being under sort of this blissful rainbow and the 10 of Cups spanning over them. So feel like these two belong together and like these two do too. So, okay, sharing, suppression, 10 of Wands in this deck. So the Osho Zen Tarot, by the way, is a very, very beautiful one, I feel. Kind of still staying true to the initial meaning and energy behind the cards, but interpreting them just in a different way and from a different perspective. And with you, group number 3, I get, like the 10 of Cups, as I said, it's depicted as this family under the arc of Cups, let's say. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a family in the traditional sense. We have 3 of Pentacles here, guidance. So I feel you might have a hard time to really have this feeling of being surrounded by like-minded people, group number 3. And I feel like you actually have the urge, and it's your natural to express yourself in a group or in society. You know, you want creative expression and people to see it, actually. I feel that was just a bad shuffle jumping out there. And we are the world, 10 of Pentacles. So, yeah, and we always get like these bunched cards here. So schizophrenia, 2 of Swords, and the Outcast, 5 of Pentacles in this deck, and in particularly in this card, it kind of even has a little bit of like this Devil card energy, I feel, because the boy is even small enough to get through this fence, you know, through this gate. But he doesn't do it, and he lets this lock keep him away from going out there or going in there, entering the space, you know. And sometimes more that you suffer more in your head and you are more afraid and you have a huge fear inside of your mind, group number 3, I feel, lots of you watching this. So, and again with the 10 of Wands here and the Queen of Wands, I believe that's the Queen of Wands sharing, and that's the Queen card here. But either way, like here, I feel you guys might have strong Leo placements or even be Leo moons, to be honest, because we recently now had like the full moon in there, and you know, and as particularly Leo placements have this thing with they want to shine, they want to stand out, they want to share their energy, and it's not in a braggy way, not at all. Like you Leo placements, let me just see. We have 10, we have Saturn and Capricorn here. Very interesting, because that resonates with all these Earth cards. What's the fires? And now we have Virgo, we have Neptune in 10th house. So lots of grinding energy hovering across you, like, or across this entire reading. And I feel that is not necessarily something that comes very natural to you, group number 3. And I don't mean this in any bad way or something. That doesn't mean that you guys are lazy or unorganized or not able to pull through something. No, no, no. It's just that for you, it requires a lot of force and conscious work and conscious focus on this, while the creative self-expression, for instance, comes very freely to you. And it's actually a need for you. It's really a basic need for you. And I feel that either that will be implied, like not implied, but inhibited during the upcoming week for you, or it already is, and you seem to be suffering. You seem to be suffering because of that a little bit. So let's see. Being alone, hermit energy here. So fits well with the Virgo, you know. And again, with the Neptune card, we have, though, again, this illusion energy here. It's an illusion. And the thing is that you might be surrounded by more like-minded people than you actually could think, like that you actually think and that you actually know. With the 10 of Pentacles appearing here, even in reverse, but in this position here. So also, I get this all is one energy here. And I feel that you actually are somebody who is very embracing of that mindset. And here we have reception, so being receptive to things, being fruitful ground for new ideas, for new inspiration, and basically receiving, a lot of receiving energy. Yeah, and I feel as much as you want to put yourself out there, I feel during the upcoming week for you, it's going to be more of the time to receive, to listen, to... actually, that might be the case, that your need to express yourself and your need to put yourself out there, that is actually standing in your way of kind of tapping into the task that is currently what you most likely would benefit more from, which is more on the receiving side, more on the listening side. The thing is that your notion of isolation in some sense, maybe even, I think, yeah, we have eight of Wands, travel here. Yeah, and with this travel card here and with the 8, it's very interesting, because you have a lot of these fiery cards coming up here in that sense, but you on the other hand have all this earth here. You have here, I believe that is the Ace of Swords in this deck, consciousness. So in here you have schizophrenia. Yeah, I think that's the right way to pronounce it, my God. So here we have conditioning as back of the deck, by the way, which is a little bit, you know, that wolf in a sheep's skin disguise thing going on here. And on the other hand, it sounds more malefic the way that I put it now, but the thing is, it also talks about adaptation and sometimes blending in with a pack that might not be necessarily yours, but it still is your environment, you know, and that's, or let's say it's the best environment that you can have at the moment. And I feel for you, group number 3, as much as that might go against your grain and your natural energy. But I feel for you during the upcoming week, that is going to be a time where you, in a sense, cannot choose so much between that what particular company you want to be in, or what expression you particularly want to practice there. I feel it's going to be like, if you want to have some connection, then you can have some, but it's going to be one where you are more of the listener, more of the receiver, also going more towards your other end of your character, which is more of, there is this journey aspect in there, I feel somehow. I feel that you will, during the upcoming days, be challenged to rather accompany somebody else on their journey, not so much take somebody on your journey and express yourself so much. So yeah, very interesting energy. And I get a lot of frustration here somehow. I get a lot of division, the feeling of being torn, a lot of loneliness as well. Like it's a very heavy energy in some sense. And I feel like with this harmony card here, it comes up in a challenging position, by the way. So leading has been challenging for you. That charisma that usually, gets people basically wrapped around your small finger. And I don't mean this in a bad or manipulating way. I just mean that there are people who have that sort of presence. They enter the room and they just win all hearts over within the blink of an eye. And a lot of you guys, I feel, are those types of people. So, and either already you kind of feel it, or maybe during the upcoming week, you might feel very inhibited in this, and you might feel like why this always works, why doesn't it work now? And it might be very frustrating. And also I somehow feel like for some of you it's a very heavy thing to be so limited in their expression. Also, some of you might be people who, not all of you, but some not many, but some of you might also be people who do music for a living, or art for a living, or maybe acting or something like that. And for whom just the current situation is also inhibiting your way of doing things. And it requires you to find new ways to connect while being in isolation and being on your own, still don't losing the notion that we are all as one and that we are connected. And getting yourself out of that cage and maybe shifting your perception of things. But it doesn't come easy. All of your topics here, all of your reading here, it is a somehow very heavy one. I get this push and pull energy here. So let me just check what you could focus on. And for that, I feel like using the Drew Tarot deck, because it is a little bit grounding. I feel a lot of inner conflict going on with you, group number 3. And I'm not gonna lie, this is like, I really start to feel drained during this reading. I feel like you're going through, we have the Ace of Cups reversed here, and so in group number 3, I feel you really need to focus on replenishing yourself, and in a different way than you are used to. You might be very extroverted people who actually are just, suffering also a lot from the current situation. And we have 4 of Pentacles in reverse here. We have Ace of Swords reversed. So, and here we have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I feel once you tap into, but let me see, how can group number 3 replenish themselves best? So, yeah, but how can they replenish themselves best during the current times? This is, basically, I feel like for you, group number 3, this is actually the task that you are put on during the upcoming week, to find ways how to replenish yourself without other people's company, without other people's attention. And I mean it all in a positive way. Other people's attentions also means if you are a musician or if you are an artist, most likely are somewhat dependent on other people's reaction, feedback, interaction with you to really feel balanced, feel well, and replenish yourself. So I mean it in the most positive way possible. And it is very natural for us to actually, even if we are introverted, but even then with the people that we are comfortable with and in a small circle, or just with even one other person, so just in the company of them and you, just the two of you, it is very normal to seek that for replenishment and for feeling, emotionally recharged and refreshed again. So the thing is that I feel at the moment this is your task. How do you replenish yourselves without other people's company, without any public place, without any public expression, without any stage, might it be a real stage or might it be the stage of being basically the life of the party, for instance. And I feel you are those types of people. You are life of the party people. And the current times, I think, are hitting you very, very hard. The thing is that once you start looking for opportunities to really replenish yourself and recharge yourself in a different way than you are used to, so that will open different opportunities for you. That might also lead, to, let me see, Four of Pentacles, clarify Four of Pentacles, please. Good. Yeah, we have Nine of Cups here. So I feel like when you discover those new ways that are serving you during this time, you might even realize that those things are maybe even doing a better service for you in some particular points than what you used to do all the time. Maybe it is less consuming, maybe it is bringing you more emotional stability, maybe it is, instead of being something that takes your resource, maybe it becomes a side hustle that provides you some resource. Or you can maybe take what you usually used to do. And if you are having this creative hobby, if you are having this creative ground that you're working in, maybe switching things up and trying out a new project and approaching it very differently will show you a way that you might even want to stick to once things are improving, because that has proven to work even better for you in some aspects. So I feel it's for you a lot of exploration, a lot of explorative work, a lot of trying things out. So let me now see what music you could listen to during this process and which artists might have a beneficial and supporting energy during this for you. Because I feel this is something very fundamental for you. I feel like this creative expression and being around people is very vital for you to be happy. And while it's not that you are completely dependent on that, but currently you are experiencing heavy withdrawals with that. So we have even 4 cards for you. And we have John Lennon, Beyonce, Kurt Cobain, and Tina Turner here. So I feel like these two actually are still left from the other group. But on the other hand, they fell out here, and I kind of feel like seeing them separately a little bit. Because the Cobain message kind of resonates with a very similar thing that I said to the other group, but I feel it fits for you as well. So with John Lennon, we have the quotes: "Not everything is an illusion, not everything is a lie." And if you are enjoying wasting time, then it's not wasted. And peace is the only thing that is worth hoping for. So, that's the thing. I feel this card, or the quotes in there, talk a lot about easing up on ourselves and being like, yeah, okay, if we even feel like it's a waste of time and it's that we don't get to do the things and accomplish the things that we usually would. Also, with the creativity card there. The thing is that you can still, through that, discover something else and something new. Because if whatever you're doing there while wasting your time, if you are finding some joy in it, or if you are discovering some joy in that, or something joyful in that, then it already might actually be the seed, that wastefulness aspect. And with Beyoncé, we have confidence can be the strongest aphrodisiac and be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And if somebody sings with all of their heart, don't pretend to be deaf. So again, this talks a lot about that reception thing. And I feel not all of you, but some of you choosing this group, you might even see this and know this, that sometimes you might forget, like not meaning it badly or not doing it intentionally, but sometimes you are so focused on your creative expression and on you being in the center of things that you forget that there are other people who are more like you than you think, and they are better company for you and suiting you way more than you imagine or than you realize. So sometimes kind of getting down from that a very self-centered point where we are a little bit of, isolated, not in even if we are with others, we are alone in that moment, because we forget that there are other people who might have even the same talents or just different talents, but at the same intensity as us. And we tend to forget that. And with Kurt Cobain, I talked to the previous group that had this about that card. While we have the quotes here, we all are stuck in this chaos, so let's make some noise, and then don't become your own tribute band, and you cannot buy teen spirit. So while Nirvana's music, for instance, carries a lot of this rebellious energy, for instance, it also, I feel, a lot of the songs also of Nirvana talk a lot about the flip side of this, which is the fear of actually, selling yourself cheap in a way, to losing a part of you or missing out on things, not living life intense enough, not living it loud enough. And that again can also get us into a place which is quite dark and not benefiting us, and in the end taking us away from this concept and this expression and this stage that is very dear to us. On the other hand, also we are taken away from that, like that gets taken away from us, or we get taken away from that. So overall, that fearful aspect of this, it can take a very heavy toll on you. So I feel like Tina's messages here kind of tie in well nicely with this. So it is not important what happens, but how you deal with it. So again, finding new ways to deal with this, to deal with this lack of self-expression, and take away everything that is dragging you down, remove everything that is dragging you down. And the most beautiful lotus is blooming in the deepest mud. So I feel like here even we have the lotus, the lotus blooming out here, and staying receptive. I feel like for you, the key is to open yourselves up a little, back off a little, and maybe see and realize that there are actually ways to connect, even during this time. There are ways, even if they are very unusual, very, even not really comfortable for you in the beginning, very out of your usual choice, your usual rhythm, your usual way to communicate. Still, try them out, and I feel that that is going to benefit you immensely, and that will open you a new dimension of things, which you will actually end up enjoying pretty much. And that will, also with the journey card here and with Page of Wands here, I feel like you will actually have a very exciting time with this group number 3. So during the upcoming week, go a little bit easier on this. I feel you a lot. Like you are missing your usual socializing and your usual self-expression, but you know, try to tap into different ways of it, and let's see how you can take care for yourself best during the upcoming week. So let's see. So fire, passion, very interesting. I'm so sure you have some Leo placements, guys. So let's see. Let's now look, by the way, into the book that comes with this, because sometimes this book also has very interesting quotes. So yeah, and it talks about basically mankind being very fascinated with fire, very fascinated with this element since the dawn of time, and it also has a very ceremonial character, and it also talks about exploring what makes you passionate, what makes you joyful, what makes you happy, what makes your heart beat faster, what is motivating you to do things, what is driving you, and also opening up to really like releasing your mind and releasing your conditioning and opening up to what really makes your heart go faster, makes you happy, even if you are not expecting it or even if you're not used to it. Try to remember, you know, even with the things that now are a constant fixed part of your life, there was one day or one moment when you encountered them for the very first time and were just intrigued by it, but you even didn't know if it's going to be your fit. But you tried it out and it became one. So maybe try to tap into that feeling again, group number 3. I feel that is going to be something that will help you to rebalance and ground yourself. Also, if you are drawn to candles, to some open fire, maybe you do have an oven at home, like a stove which you use still for wood burning or stuff like that. Though that is quite unlikely, but yeah, I know some people have that. Some people have like a small stove at home to heat parts of the house or just to, you know, make the house cozy. So overall, if you are somewhat attracted to fire, to flame, to the warmth of it, to light, surround yourself with that. Surround yourself with that, really dive into it, and I feel that is very recharging for you. Very recharging, even though you don't get your socializing, but maybe getting at least some warmth, you know, of the fire, of some candles, and just creating a warm atmosphere for you. I think that will support you very much on staying positive about this and still carry on and try out new things. So group number 3, thank you so much for tapping into this reading. This is all I have for you. I wish you a wonderful, productive week. Stay safe and take good care of yourself, and see you in the next video. Bye!